Production.
What's going on, you guys? Good morning and welcome back to channel Anderson. Today we're going to try to change the supercharger oil on the CLK55. And funny story for you guys actually, and good news, we got the transmission into the red C55. Last night I was doing a bunch of work on it, just tidying up, doing, the last 10% always takes a long time, so just chipping away at it. And there was 2 bolts for the transmission that I hadn't put in yet, and I was going to put them in. Couldn't figure out where the heck I put one of the bolts. I looked everywhere for it in the garage yesterday, and right before I was falling asleep, I remembered exactly where it was. And out of all the places it was, which is right here, I actually had it inside of the shift knuckle, because I was using it to pull the shift knuckle back and forth between neutral to test the length between our Kangaroo steam shifter and the transmission. So silly. Anyways, transmission is in, everything was smoothly, it's all filled up with fluid already, got a new ground that I made for it, etc. So just buttoning up things down here, and we'll get all of our connectors plugged in and all of that good stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna get this thing pulled in. I'll give you guys a cold start since it's like 5:30 a.m. right now. Haven't driven it in a few days, and get this stuff out of the way. So catch you in a second. All right, you guys, real quick, just before I jump in the car and so I don't forget, supplies you will need for this is some type of mobile jet oil. This is the newest version. I think it's a 4th generation, which is 387. There's also, I think, like 257 or something like that, 237, something like that. And then mobile jet oil 1 and 2. But yeah, this is the newest one, so I'm gonna be throwing that in. And then we use some type of syringe or, plunger, or if you have a vacuum puller, something like that, that's going to be able to work. And I have a couple different hose attachments for it, and then I also have a little bit of hose that I can attach onto that if I need. And my plan with that is to use some steel wire to bend it into the correct shape so it can dip down into the right spot in the supercharger to extract all the oil. And a little bit of Teflon tape will also be needed for the set screw or nut or whatever you want to call it that's inside of the supercharger. So that is it. Let's go start up CLK. And tools to mention real quick: 5mm, whatever 5mm you got. So I got this, I got these, I got this, I have a T handle as well. So whatever 5mm you got, get an assortment, they'll probably all help you out. Alright, and the GoPro does not have good night vision, so I'll let you guys hear from right here what this thing sounds like. Pretty mean. Alright, let this thing warm up for a second and pull it into the garage. Alright guys, and here it is, our M113k that's inside of our CLK. We just recently did our crossover tube modification from Needs Wings. Big shout out to them again. Lovely setup. If you guys are interested, go check it out. There's a video on that, and you can go check out their website as well, see these tweaked manifolds from them, or tweaked surge tanks. Other than that though, we got to get into the supercharger, so basically just pull off the front cover. I don't have what's it called? Oh my gosh, why do I need 2 hands to do this? Hold on. As I was saying, I don't have secondary air or anything like that, so if you do, it's going to be a little trickier for you. But let me get the light and I'll show you exactly where that fill screw is. Shout out to my mom and Mike for getting this for me for Christmas. New lighting. You guys are always talking about how I need more lights in the garage. Well, This thing is plenty powerful. So I'm gonna set this up, attaches to your hood. Very nice. All right, guys, now we got some lights, and show you right there is our screw. So I'm gonna throw a little PB blaster on there, let it sit for a second, and try to get that out. All right, guys, a little trick here I'm gonna try. Shout out to Josh of Creative Steel. Told me this a while ago when we were doing the water pump on the C36. Putting a little bit of paper towel to make it a little bit tighter fit onto whatever bolt or screw, whatever you're trying to work on. And that way the bolt also won't drop out. Underneath, I am going to place a towel right here though below, just in case, so we can catch it if for any reason it does drop. But I think this is going to be my method, this extended 5mm 3/8, and see what I can do. All right, you guys, got that thing started to spin. So just gonna get this slowly out of here. All right, guys, I swear that trick is the biggest win, man. Such a good little hack. I'm gonna use the same trick, actually, putting it back in too. So bolt is out, a little bit of nasty Teflon tape left over, but that's okay. We'll be replacing that. Let's go ahead and try to set up our extraction. All right, you guys, I got my fluid extractor set up, just attached that extra bit of hose onto the end. Got my steel wire in here and kind of put it in shape. Wanted to show you guys, this is what you're trying to achieve. Basically, a bend down to get to the bottom of the little pan, I guess you would call it, or sump of the supercharger, and then another bend to go out of the inlet. So bend and then bend back towards you, and I'm gonna try to snake this in there, see if it works. All right, guys, well, extraction method numero uno was not working. I tried this hose, but unfortunately the outer diameter is just a tiny bit too big and it would not snake in. So that tiny attachment I had, I just use a heat gun to bend it into shape, and I think this will work a lot better anyways because it's a rigid piece. I'm just hoping that I can actually fit this in here, so wish me luck. All right, guys, finally, I'm running out of time here, but I got this oriented into the right shape, and I'm able to fit this down in here. So let's begin extracting, and hopefully we can get close to 150 milliliters out. The fluid is absolutely nasty, so I'm sure this has never been changed, so I'm glad I'm doing this. Yeah, this stuff is nasty. I didn't think about this part. I'm gonna have to snake this out of here. Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. Alright, got it out. Okay, get something to pop this into. Nasty. What's going on, you guys? I'm back on my lunch break right now. I ran out of time this morning, and of course the GoPro decided to die too. So we're switching back to the normal camera. I am on my last little bit of extraction, I hope. I just made another piece out of some vinyl tubing that I had laying around from this electric vacuum pump that I use here and there. So I think this one is like as good as I've gotten it as far as touching to the bottom of the little sump there. I've gotten out this much so far. I don't know how many milliliters that is, but see what else I can extract out of here, and then let's put the fresh stuff in. Alright, you guys, well, just used my vacuum pump actually, and just to double check we got everything out. That's as much as I'm gonna get out. So maybe it was a little bit low, I don't know. That could be close to 150 milliliters. 150 milliliters is really not that much, but definitely seems a bit low. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the 150 for our new stuff and go ahead and fill it up. The factory fill is that 150 milliliters. You're not supposed to fill it up to the set screw or fill screw, but some people are debate about that. I don't know. Some people do fill it up all the way to the screw. Some people do not. The recommendations from the IHI, the people who make this supercharger, say 150 milliliters. So I think that's mostly out of worry that it's going to leak out of the front seal, but I don't know. So I'll try to fill it up, and if I notice that it's seeming like too much, then I'll stop. All right, you guys, doctor's orders, 150 milliliters, and actually this stuff is much darker than I thought it was going to be. So in reality, I mean, this stuff is dirty for sure, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. And realistically, I don't think that's that much less, just the shape of how these two containers are. It's definitely less, but not that crazy. So anyways, let's go ahead and fill this up. Luckily, this is a lot easier than, what's it called? Oh, actually, I might need to use that little piece, but it's a lot easier filling it than it is trying to extract it. So anyways, let me get the correct diameter piece so I can fit this in there and go ahead and squeeze away. All right, guys, she's filled up and screw is going back in. There's my paper towel trick. Literally does not fall off once it's snapped on. It's a great trick. Let's go ahead and guide it in here and get this thing buttoned up. All right, guys, set screw is back in. I think we are ready to fire this thing up and get it out of the garage. Alright guys, set screw is in place with the Teflon tape. I think we are ready to go ahead and do a test fire on this thing. Alright, let's go ahead and fire it up. Still raining outside. And we're in the store for some very cold weather later this week, it sounds like. But making the most of it. Alright, don't think we're going to be able to tell anything about our supercharger noise here, but whew, smoke. It sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and back this thing out and then put it on the stands, because I got some other work I gotta do on this thing, not for this video. Alright you guys, she's up on my little makeshift ramps. I'm gonna be doing a 63 Motorsports oil pressure gauge on this car, and while I'm in there, I'm also gonna be fixing the wiring on the oil level sensor, because that's really the only like remaining little weird wiring thing to go. So that is that. I'm hoping we'll see. I'm going to be running the oil pressure from the pressure port, but we'll see. It looks like a tight fit, so I don't know. Stay tuned. If possible, I will get that video out to you guys on Wednesday, but otherwise, that'll go ahead and do it for this one. Pretty easy job and worthwhile to do, I think, especially if you don't know the exact history of supercharger on your car. So yeah, that'll go ahead and do it. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. Catch you on the next one. Peace.